Hi, I'm Obadiah, and this is Nikki. We're the Riot, and we're here to both info-entertain you.
We're infotaining, hopefully enough for you this morning.
Here's what I got for you. Nikki spent some hot tub time.
Just on Saturday and not a lot, but you know.
Enough that it completely wore her out. She was hot tub exhausted on Sunday.
I think it was just because I was also outside with a lot of fresh air, and I have allergies, and that makes me tired.
Here we go. This is the part of the show where Nikki and I start making up all the reasons we're tired. Fresh air, hot tub.
No, I felt so exhausted yesterday that I got mad. I kind of got frustrated because you felt like you wanted to go do something, but there really wasn't anything to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have probably found something, but I didn't want to try too hard.
I will tell you, I think it was last weekend. Not this one that just passed, but the one before. I think I slept almost all weekend.
Did you?
I just couldn't.
You just can't shake it.
I couldn't. I was just so tired. This weekend was not like that for me, but last weekend absolutely was.
And I don't know if it's because we still work during the week. You know, like we still come into the studio to do this. But, you know, we go home and isolate after that point. But I don't know. We'll see how this week goes.
Yeah. Well, in the show today, you're going to hear tales of kind of isolating as Nikki hot tubs and Burger Kings and pizza.
I sound so lazy. And that's fine.
I can confirm that you are not.
I know, but it sounds like it.
If anybody was going to call you lazy, it would be me, to your face and behind your back.
Of course.
I'm not doing either one of those.
And I appreciate that.
We talk about the Final Fantasy remake that's out this week. iPhone rumors, free comic books, Mountain Dew Doritos, some updates on the Cane's chicken finger controversy.
Oh boy, just something to talk about.
And I think that's about it. That's good enough. So,
big stretch.
I mean, there's some more in there. Getting cigarettes across the border, Chromebooks.
I like that one. I like someone being so desperate to get their cigarettes that they're willing to do exercise.
Hey, listen. Sometimes you do what you got to do, Nikki.
We find out. Did you put your Mountain Dew talk or your fountain drink talk in there?
You know what?
I felt like that was real.
I don't think so.
It needs to make its way.
What time was that?
I don't know. It needs to be in there if you happen to find it.
I wonder how I missed that. Okay, I'll tell you what. Do like 7 to 8 or 8 to 9?
7 to 8, I think it was.
I think so too. All right, I'll go looking for that. See if I can find it.
If it happens to come in here, if not, you missed it. It was great.
It was real talk.
Don't forget to join us at RadioU Riot, our Facebook page. You can also text us, 877-2RadioU. If you want to say hello, if you're a podcast listener, just put that you are and your name and where you're listening from.
All right. Well, you guys have a great whatever today is for you.
Enjoy the day.
Bye.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Hey, y'all.
Back from the weekend.
Yay. How was yours? I saw you hot tubbing.
Yeah, I was actually pretty.
I was looking at pictures of you in the hot tub, Nikki.
See, it's about tone. Do you see how, like, when you first said it was like, oh, wow, and then it became weird?
I love to see pictures of you in the hot tub, Nikki.
Well, outside of that, see, it's not what we say, it's how we say it. That's odd, but I did on Saturday, but then in my area, the weather wasn't really as nice to go in yesterday.
Okay.
Or at least I told myself that because I became so tired from just being in the hot tub on Saturday. So then yesterday I was like, why am I so tired? And I just kept sleeping.
You know what, Nikki? You weren't tired.
I don't know what it was.
You had finally
Exhausted.
relaxed. You finally relaxed.
I think that's what it was.
The hot tub, it pulled all the tension out of you. And then when all that tension was gone, all that was left was your need for rest. Well,
I kept saying I got to get up and do something yesterday, and I didn't really accomplish much. So that was disappointing. I felt a little frustrated.
Well, you know, it's funny. I had a conversation with a friend over the weekend. She's a teacher, and she was like, yeah, I don't feel like I can, I'm just so lazy. I'm so whatever. Now, she's still working like 5-6 hours a day from home. And I was like, you know, it's not summer. Like, you're not off. It feels like you're off, but like you're working all day. So like, what's the big deal?
It's just weird when you are doing some of your work at home or you just don't have the same schedule. It's just very odd.
It's weird. I do feel like maybe like going into this week, like I feel like a little more adjusted.
That's good.
Do you feel that way? Or
We'll see. It's still early on the day.
It is the very beginning.
Let's see how it goes the rest of the day today.
Probably shouldn't have spoken up.
Maybe the riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the Riot on Radio U.
I told Nikki she had to share all of this on air, and I made her stop telling me because she said to me right as soon as the mics go off, she goes, "Well, I hit my low point on Saturday."
Well, I think
Wait.
in the
What do you
time
mean?
at home low point, where we're trying to, you can pick up food. Otherwise, you've got to have it delivered or you just have to make your own food. Well, on Saturday, we're busy outside. Eric was doing some landscaping stuff and we're just relaxing. And
no, you were relaxing.
Well,
I think Eric was working.
It wasn't. It was his thing he wanted to do.
Okay.
But I've done something I've never done before, and I DoorDashed fast food.
What? From where?
Burger King.
Wow.
It was so bad.
Would you say you had royalty over for a lunchtime meal?
I had a deal, like I had a coupon, like a savings thing. And so I was like, well, I'll just do this. And Eric was busy, and normally he likes to go and get it. And it was something because I don't know where the disappointment really started. Like normally I am not a fan of Burger King. I just don't feel like it's the same. When you pay...
Wait. What do you mean by the same?
It's like McDonald's and Wendy's. Those are happy fast foods for me. I like those.
Burger King is like what, depressed fast food?
I don't know.
Sad fast food?
I'm very unhappy once I eat it and it sets in.
Then why did you get it?
I don't know. I had a deal.
Right.
It was a coupon thing. And it's sad when someone brings it and then you have that disappointment come in because someone brought it to you.
Yeah.
It was just really sad. So I was very mad at myself. I was like, that's it. I'm not fast fooding any more stuff at all.
Have you never?
I've never done any fast food.
Okay.
No.
So but it was cheaper?
It was
You had
about
a
the
deal?
same. It would be basically the deals took away what would have been the overhead cost of it.
No, the overcharging.
Yeah, I know it's not it is overcharging and the delivery fees and stuff. But
okay.
Just wish I would have gone with McDonald's, and I wonder what McDonald's is like. That's sent over.
See, that's the problem is you had an extreme encounter. If you had just had a middling, like we had Burger King, it was okay.
Yeah.
You'd just be done. But now you're like, Burger King was terrible. How's the McDonald's?
I wonder how McDonald's is. That's normally the one I see the most in the neighborhood when
Really?
because they just leave it on the front doorstep, so you can, if you're out walking around, you're like, well, someone had lunch brought over.
Contactless delivery.
There it is. So we'll see. I promised myself yes. I was like, no, we're not doing any fast food today or anytime this week.
I just keep coming back to now. To be clear, I had pizza last night, which I went and picked up.
Oh,
so
sure.
I mean, like, I'm doing it too. But I sat there as the lady handed me the pizza, and I'm like, I don't even know how many of you guys sneezed on this pizza.
I know. I know.
You're wearing gloves when you hand it to me, but whatever. Like, I don't know.
What else are you supposed to do? We're not to the point where we can make our own pizzas yet.
And then one of the president's people was like, if you could not go to the grocery store, you're better off not going. And I'm like, it's cool. I'll just eat this grass. We have some of that.
I mean, I know I have stuff in my house that I should have been eating that I've had for a while that I need to, like, they're either frozen or it's just in the pantry, but I don't want to. I just wanted to have fast food.
Well, and not only did you want fast food, but you wanted the inevitable disappointment that always comes with fast food.
It was. And it was the first time, too. They staple the bag, and they say, okay, if it's not stapled, you should not eat it.
Because staples, like, that's a real hermeneutical, like, whatever seal. Like,
it's the first time I saw it on the packaging, and I thought, well, the delivery person could just restaple it if they bring a stapler.
No!
It's not hard for them to be in there eating my fries.
It's not like the King seal in wax. It's a stapler.
They're
for
like,
crying out loud.
reject if it's open. You're like, all right. That's what it puts on the bag.
It's Velcro.
But
can't be resealed.
That's the baby step goals we're working on this week. Okay. So we're not going to have any fast food delivery this week. That's the goal.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. What?
Yes, you are. Because, no, the fact that you started there, that's not. You would have had to start at 0, and you could have maybe made the week. But if you started Monday morning with,
this is my goal for the week.
Any fast food delivery, here's what's going to happen. On Saturday, you'll be like, well, technically the work week's over.
That's what I mean. I mean the work week. Friday, technically.
You might as well have just signed a letter of intent to get McDonald's delivered on Saturday.
Well, even Friday, technically, we have a lower work week.
Once you leave the office on Friday, you really...
I don't want to say never, but...
If it's louder than it has to be and way worse than it has any right to be, it must be the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Dude. Okay. It's not, it is not funny at all, but... the Surgeon General yesterday, did you catch his message? He was basically like, prepare for the worst 2 weeks ever.
Well, yeah, they've been saying that.
That was a tough one. And then right after him was somebody that was, I believe was the governor of Ohio, that was just like, well, you should wear a mask all the time.
Yeah, they've been saying that now, too.
Okay.
They go back and forth. Where are you supposed to get the masks, you mean?
Exactly.
No, they're long gone.
Exactly.
They're long gone.
So
you have to make your own.
Out of what? And I know.
Your favorite T-shirt.
I know. They showed that. They're like, make it out of this T-shirt.
No, because there's still now reports of saying, I watched a video coming in where they're just spraying stuff through it, and you're like, nope, it goes through. Nope, it goes through.
I mean, basically, it's going to keep bugs out. And by bugs, I mean flies.
Well, if it at least gets you to distance yourself from someone, because I think if we're all wearing masks, that reminds you, hey, I need to... physically distance what they're saying.
That has been one of my things is I know somebody that's making cloth masks, and I've thought several times, if somebody sneezes on me, that's going to keep that out, but it's
supposed to not be to keep you necessarily from getting it from just walking around, but if someone has something to keep it from, spreading out more.
All right. Well, I don't have a mask.
We got to make one or use a bandana.
And I have to go to the store today.
You do?
Yeah, I do. So,
I don't think you should. Because if you don't have one, everybody's going to be looking at you.
I'll bet you there's a ton of people in there who don't have them because, like me, again, somebody yesterday was like, you need to make sure you got a mask. I'm like,
we should have bought those in the very beginning. If this ever happens again, or how we talked about, there's certain things that we need to have stockpiled or a couple extra of, like toilet paper.
Right.
We also just need to keep a couple of masks at home.
Yeah.
Well, you have gloves. Wear gloves at least.
Okay, I'll wear some gloves. That's something.
That's not weird anymore. That's perfectly
it's not
normal to see.
Though that's another thing where I see people wearing gloves, they're touching their face, wearing gloves, and they're using their clean hand to take their glove off. It's just some of the stuff I've seen. I saw a guy take his gloves off and not inside out, but just take them off and put them in his pocket for later. And I was like,
and then brought it back out.
That completely defeats the purpose of what you're doing.
They're trying.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's trying.
A for effort, but.
Well, Tim texted says use a furnace filter. Are you able to cut one out or something?
I think he's being sarcastic, right?
Well, maybe it's a DIY.
Furnace
we can't
filter?
afford that. Might as well buy one of the masks.
Hey, man, if he says the pleats can be used to make a makeshift mask. Okay.
That might work.
All right.
He's not going to do that. Never mind. Thank you, Tim, for the offer.
Let's see. Eric says, I saw a guy at Home Depot wearing a bandana on his face like an old-timey train robber.
Yeah,
now that I'm interested in.
That one I see a lot of guys doing. So just put a bandana on.
Here's the thing. You guys ready? I can't use bandanas.
Why not? Oh, because it doesn't fit around?
Because my head's too big.
Like the seatbelt extenders? There's probably a bandana one.
So get a bandana, get some...
You can get an extender.
Rubber bands.
Yeah, you can make that work.
It's not easy. Nothing about this is easy for me. Right?
I'm sure there's larger bandanas.
I have to go to the large bandana store.
Well, that is right there.
Well,
going to be the moment.
If anybody's got a line on some masks, let me know. Because, again...
You just pick it up at the store? You just drive by and pick it up?
Yeah, I'm sure. Who do you think they're just throwing out the window at me? Or?
Well, no. Did you make an online order? Or are you going to Costco?
No, I'm going to...
You going to a grocery store?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just order it and just pick it up.
I guess. See?
Okay, fine. We've given him options. That and the furnace filter, and I don't think any of them are working.
Do you have a furnace filter here?
I don't. I think there's probably some in the back.
And then there's a memo. Please stop cutting up the furnace filters to make masks.
They won't know until the next one's due. We've got time. You can totally use the furnace filter.
There's the one on the bottom of the stack.
Why don't you just carry the furnace filter?
Exactly.
You don't have to cut into it, but just put it in front of your face.
Did I just bring it back?
Just bring it back. No one has to know. These are times where we're doing things we never thought we would do.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
It is. And then we have the problem fixed. They'll never understand what you did.
We would give the Riot flowers to show our appreciation, but Obadiah's probably allergic. What isn't he allergic to? This is the Riot on Radio U.
So, Nikki, according to 9 to 5 Mac, any day now, could be today. Mm-hmm. Like, it could happen today. Apple is going to come out and announce the new iPhone SE.
So is this the
these people claim to have, like, photos of it.
Was this the cheaper one that was supposed to come out that they were talking about, like, in February?
Yes. Now, let's be careful with the word cheaper. Remember, cheaper is a comparative word.
True.
So
cheaper compared to the current models that are out now.
Yeah. Which, to be clear, my laptop's cheaper.
Than your phone, yeah.
Mm-hmm. just so we understand that. And this is everything 9 to 5 Mac says they know. They say there's going to be 3 colors, white, black, and red. They say that there will be 5 cases available from Apple. You can get it in 64, 128, and 256 gig models. Mm-hmm. We don't know what the price will be, but they believe it to be probably somewhere between $399 and $499.
Okay, but it is supposed to be the more inexpensive model if you need an iPhone.
This is basically the replacement for the iPhone 8. Mm-hmm. So the iPhone 8 is currently their less expensive option. You've got the 11. The 10 has basically disappeared. And so you've got the 11 and the 8. So they say this will be the replacement for that, though it will run on the same chip that the iPhone 11 currently does. So while they are trimming away some of the things like, and again, this is speculation, but the camera might not be as good, or this may not be as good, or that.
It'll probably be faster, at least at that point.
But they do say that as far as the actual like onboard software and the chips and stuff, that's going to be as good as what you would get with an iPhone 11.
So when do they think this thing will come out?
As early as today.
The phone or the details?
No, the details.
Okay, I was going to say, like,
details.
I don't think it's time for phones to come out right now.
You know, Nikki, you could argue that they're more important than ever.
Well, yeah, but not at, and yes, at a less expensive price, but I still don't feel like it's the right time.
Well, okay. Now, let's take one step back and let me pitch something at you, okay?
Sure.
A lot of people in the United States are about to get $1,200 checks.
Yeah, that's true.
They're locked in their house.
And they're bored.
They're bored. Now, I get it. And again, this is going to be for income brackets and whatever. Some people, they're going to need that money to pay rent. Mm-hmm. Other people aren't. And so...
But there's not even an Apple store. I know they still sell a lot online, of course, but the infrastructure of their staff and stuff, I wonder how that is.
You just go online and buy them.
Just have a new phone.
With your $1,200 check, you check.
Just the temptation is there, but
it's real.
I don't know if Apple would do that. We'll find out. So the details might be any day now. If you're looking for the new iPhone, it'll be the cheaper one.
You don't know if they do that?
Well, no, I don't know. Like, even they've been hit at this point with the setup of stuff. The reason why this was pushed back.
Meaning that they need the money.
Well, yeah,
they need your stimulus.
Do they have enough people or the infrastructure? To ship it out, to receive it, to put the phone together. Like, that is a concern.
I don't know, but I think I'm probably just going to donate mine to them. Like, I'll probably just take it and write them a check.
Well, just give them the money. You don't even need the phone.
You know what? You guys don't need to send the phone. Just take this and do something really good with it. You know? Build another real big building.
Yeah!
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So, Nikki and I don't have masks, but we do want to send a shout out to Tim. Tim actually sent us a TikTok that someone made of someone taking an air filter, like a household air filter, and a bandana, and turning it into a face mask.
So you cut part of the air filter out and then attach it to the bandana. Mm-hmm. That's a great idea.
I was impressed by it. So I put it on the Riot's Facebook page, which you can find at facebook.com/RadioU Riot. You can watch that TikTok and you will see a way to do it. Now, how effective is it really? I don't know.
We're not sure, but it looks effective. I think it looks pretty good.
I felt like, the only thing I do want to say after watching that video is, okay, so for the air filter, I don't know if you've ever seen these, but you slide them in and out of the vents near your, basically the blower.
Yeah.
It's like by the, depending on where your air conditioner and heater are and all this stuff, but you slide it in and out. It's probably in a closet somewhere.
So you have to have one to begin with, and you have to still have one in your furnace. So,
yes,
you don't want to take that one.
Right.
So you need to still go and get a furnace filter.
Right.
That's you can use. So find a cheaper one.
So that being said, they come in kind of this box, and then you cut it open, and there's like this metal that surrounds it. So you remove the metal, so you just get down to the paper filter. I just want to say that filter is not toilet paper.
What do you mean? Oh, just in case.
Just in case.
Is it tempting looking?
Just in case anybody looks at it and is like, hey.
Keep trying.
We couldn't find, but we found these filters. That's not what that is. Do not flush the air filter.
Good to know. And if you don't say something, someone doesn't know and they haven't learned.
I just feel like that's something that we need to go on record with and just get it out there.
You'd be better with the paper towels. So just stick with that if you can't find. But you're not supposed to use any of that. Those are not flushable.
Yeah, no, they're none of them are. None of them are.
I just want to see. Well, I know. I guess it depends on where you're at, because I still see people who can't find toilet paper when they go to the store to, at that moment, want to find toilet paper.
Right.
But I know it's not as hard to locate it as it was at the very beginning of the stay-at-homes and stuff. And there was a week or so there where it was really difficult to find because people were still buying a bunch when it first would come in, and there would be none left for anybody else. But I don't know how your particular setup is right now and what you might need.
We don't know.
So I'm not sure how tempting this might be.
Certainly not. So, well, there you go. Just letting you know the filters are they're out there.
Did you posted it on our Facebook page, you said?
I did. You can go on our Facebook page and see it, and it can show you how to potentially make. The only thing you need like an air filter, you need a bandana, you need some scissors, and you need, I think it was 4 rubber bands. Might have been 2. I
also
track.
Don't have any rubber bands. So you're going to have to go and make an order just to have the stuff to make it.
Hair ties.
And Tim was saying make sure you don't use the fiberglass filters.
Oh, well, there you go.
So there's another thing to learn.
It's complicated.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Are you sitting on a PlayStation 4? Well, get off of it. That's uncomfortable, and it's not good for the system.
So what are you supposed to do?
Now, do you have one? Well, here's some news. What do you call it? Embargo on reviews for Final Fantasy VII seemed to have lifted about an hour ago. And so if you look at video game or technology sites, they are all posting their reviews today. And they say that it is just absolutely spectacular.
So for this Final Fantasy, it's a remake or is it a remaster? Or?
It is a remake.
Remake?
Final Fantasy VII is known as probably one of, if not the most beloved of the Final Fantasy games.
When did it first come out?
1990.
Okay, so a while ago. It's a classic game.
I think it might have been 1997. I've never played it. I've seen it. I'm certainly familiar with some of the major story beats, but wasn't my thing. So they have remade it. It looks amazing. All the trimmings of a brand new game, so there's nothing left. And
but they didn't have to come up with a new storyline. So
they do
the best of both.
They do say that they have tweaked the story.
Okay.
So just because you have played the original or are familiar with the original don't think that means you know exactly what's going to happen, because you won't.
So was this game pushed back originally with the Corona stuff, or is it still going to come out? Or
I don't think so.
if the reviews are out, then that means it's coming out.
Oh, it's coming out on Friday. Now, the rumor is that there are some, problems in having the game shipped. So you may or may not get it on release day if you pre-order it, et cetera, et cetera.
Like an example is Amazon's been choosing what things are essential and non-essential, and your Final Fantasy game might not make the essential list.
Even though, as far as you're concerned,
it's totally essential. But,
absolutely.
So it might get delivered later than you normally would have for a game release.
Right. But they are saying that, it'll be available digitally on Friday. So expect to see that, basically immediately if you want to pay for it digitally. Of course, you don't get as many sales on it digitally.
Well, I mean, people might just want it right away, though.
Right.
So that's Friday.
Hey, I do not blame you. But yes, that'll be out on Friday. So that's this and The Last of Us 2 is the only reason I wanted to keep my PlayStation 4. Mm-hmm. So this is just something that'll have to wait. But at some point, I want to check it out. It looks cool. Demon Hunter on my side.
But not this weekend?
You got to have a PlayStation 4.
And you don't have one still.
I don't have one.
That's right.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Okay, you guys looking for something to do today? Now, not everybody is. Some of us are essential. You're just working like it's every day, right? Other people, though, maybe. So do you live in a brick house or brick apartment?
Mm-hmm.
I got a family of 4 here who they went out, including with a ladder, and they colored every single brick on their brick. I don't know if they have a brick house or a brick townhouse.
You got to say it like the Brick House song.
She's a brick house.
No, it's really cute. I saw the pictures of it. A lot of people have been doing sidewalk chalk art.
Yes, that's a big thing.
And we're talking like all ages are going out to doing these like amazing masterpieces on their driveways.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, as I go drive back from the show every day, I see a lot of people with some really fantastic art that is out there.
I don't know what they were using, but someone in my neighborhood was using paintbrushes. So they didn't have like the chalk.
Yeah, you can get a chalk paint.
Yes, that must have been it. But they were really into it. So it was great.
Well, again, it comes down to some people are really using this time to be creative.
Yeah.
Then others of us are like, just going to work.
Well, I think it's nice to be creative, but I think it's also because it just gets you outside.
Yeah.
So you can do it then.
Hey, listen, I'm not making fun. I think it's a great idea. Not whether you're, just coloring in the bricks or if you're out there with a creative, I think it's awesome. I mean, because, okay, I know this is hard for some people to believe, but I don't care about my yard. Like, how you see guys out there and they're like, yeah, it's been Saturday in the yard, making it nice.
You don't care about your driveway?
I don't freaking care. I'll get the mulch out there, feed the grass.
Well, this is the time to do that, and it makes everything look pretty.
I don't even care.
So you can do that to your houses, too, if you have brick. They were just saying you just color each brick in.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is not that.
Well, okay, so that's an option.
Yeah. I've been writing poetry, so...
I don't think you have been.
You don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, no one's going to question you on it.
You don't know. You can't come. First off, if I'm writing poetry, I'm obviously very sensitive. So
don't bring it up.
Don't make fun of them. Mm-hmm. And no, I'm not going to share it with you because just like that one lady, I'm going to have books of poetry. And then when I die, we're going to publish them. And whoever's alive after me gets tons of money from it.
Again, they're like, we had no idea he was such a sensitive soul.
Yeah.
But he never wanted to color on his driveway.
Never. He thought, in fact, there are whole poems here about not coloring on the driveway.
I thought it might be fun. I was going to look on Amazon to see the paintbrush one, instead of the little chalk things. But
all right, let's see. Chalk paint. So you probably just get your own paintbrushes and Montana chalk spray paint. The only thing I'm going to say is we better make sure.
This isn't the indoor paint that's chalk, makes it into a chalkboard. This is, I thought it'd be like a liquid chalk thing.
Okay, because be careful, because there apparently is chalk paint that just gives something a chalky appearance. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about actual
We need the real stuff. And then everybody has maybe seen the Reddit with the young gentleman spray painting his home. The kid that was on.
I didn't
you didn't
see
it?
that. No,
He's
I didn't
spray
see
painting
that.
his driveway because he sees like everybody else in the neighborhood doing the chalk thing.
Shut up.
But he found spray paint and he was spray painting the garage, all that stuff. And the neighbor's like, "What's this guy doing?"
Yeah.
We don't know.
When you say he was young, like how young was he?
I think like 8.
Okay, yeah.
You know, like he's old enough to be outside on his driveway, but young enough to not know that spray paint is the real stuff.
Yeah. Someone have some splaining to do.
Well, you got to ask for forgiveness afterwards.
Don't paint over it. It's a one-time work of art.
No, what he was writing, you're going to need to paint over it. So I think you're going to need to have some bigger brushes and going to get rid of all that.
Love it.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on Radio U.
Real talk, though, people are giving out a lot of free stuff. That's been a thing. Like digital freebies has been a thing. A lot of companies know you're stuck at home, so they'll give you something free. Now, let's be clear. This is your dealer giving you a taste.
It is a hit of it, and then they want you to get hooked on
That's
it.
right.
And then when this stay at home and depending on what area, what you're dealing with goes away, they want you to still be so in love with what you took that hit of.
Come on.
That you don't want to get rid of it. But some companies, I feel like they're being nice to unlock some digital stuff so that you can enjoy it.
All right. So here we go. The people at Marvel. Now, I noticed that it's not just Marvel Unlimited, but it's also on Amazon's Comixology, which I have an account to that. I got sucked in. They were doing 60 days free. And I was like, man, sure, whatever. And so I have been reading some comics through Comixology. Their Unlimited is, it has comics from all over, but it also has some Marvel comics in the mix.
That's the one that Amazon owns now.
It is, yeah. So some of the stuff that is free from Marvel, Avengers versus X-Men. And what's cool is that's the entire graphic novel of that storyline. The storyline's a little insane, but I read it. It was free.
They're trying to get you hooked.
Yeah, and again, Civil War, which is it's kind of what the movie's based on. It's way more complicated, but it's the entire graphic novel.
Because when I first saw it, they're like, oh, there's about 12 things that are free, but it's not 12 just issues. It's like 12 of the entire collections.
Yeah. X-Men Milestones, The Dark Phoenix Saga. Now, that's an important read, guys.
Is that homework for this week?
That's an important read. The Kree Skrull War.
Get to downloading it.
Avengers, Fantastic Four Volume 1, Black Widow Volume 1, Captain America Winter Soldier Ultimate. There's 12 of these. And again, these are like collections of issues.
It's not 12 things. It's 12 of a lot of things.
And you can get them through Marvel Unlimited, or it's the Marvel app, which you can also look into Unlimited, or you can get it through Comixology, which I didn't know that Marvel themselves was doing it. I downloaded almost all of these from Comixology over the weekend. So, I mean, did I read any of them this weekend? No.
Well, and they don't go away when this thing is all going back to how our normal life was. That you can still read them. Yeah, you can still read them then.
It's true. It's true. So, just a little something to do while you're listening to The Riot. Read some Avengers versus X-Men. Let me know what you think.
Which was the one that you said was important?
Oh, that would be the X-Men Milestones Dark Phoenix Saga.
That's the one.
That's the one that they keep making movies about that are no good. So,
but you have to know that the original stuff is good.
Come on. It's important, Nikki.
Just not the movie.
It's important.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Want to say hi to Darren. Darren didn't text us, which is what most people do, 8772 RadioU, to say, hey, Darren actually sent us an email. Mm-hmm. And he emailed us about Mountain Dew Doritos.
I don't know why, but when I looked at his email the first time, I'd seen the Mountain Dew Doritos, but I thought it was mint Doritos.
No, that's wrong.
And I think I was just looking at it wrong.
I'm not going to be able to stand behind mint Doritos.
Well, I thought, oh, that's so weird. But then, okay, Mountain Dew ones make more sense.
It's true. So Pepsi is, as of today, making Mountain Dew Doritos available in Australia and New Zealand.
So not here.
We haven't seen those in the United States, right?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe it's because people have eaten Doritos with Mountain Dew at the same time. So I just don't know.
You and I have had Mountain Dew Cheetos.
We have. We tried those from Japan years ago.
Yeah, so like that's a thing. We've been there. But a Mountain Dew Dorito?
Apparently not.
Not yet.
So any talks on it coming to the United States or just Australia and New Zealand?
I don't see anything here about it being an April Fool's joke. I don't see anything here about it coming to the United States.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. Sometimes it's a testing thing if they do it in other countries.
So we're going to have to find somebody in New Zealand or in Australia that are going to send us some of these Mountain Dew Doritos because obviously we need them.
Yeah, well, I think it'd be fun to try.
I think that's just a given right now.
It'd be nice, but if not, we'll patiently wait.
You know, Nikki, the other thing you and I could do is we could just take some Doritos and soak them in Mountain Dew. I don't feel like it's going to be the same.
You know how like when you can buy, ranch, but then there's also the packet of ranch that's like the powder version?
Yeah.
Is there a Mountain Dew version of that? I think we need that.
Powdered dew?
Yeah, like dehydrated or something. And
that seems like something they would do.
And then put that on a chip.
Okay.
So either way, I think there's going to be some work to do.
Okay.
I don't know which one's easier. Oh, I do know which one's easier. If someone from New Zealand or Australia sends it to us, that's the easiest way.
That involves no effort on our part.
Well, opening the package can be hard sometimes.
Well, yeah, you got to make sure you get a pair of scissors or a knife, and, it's not as simple as all that.
And if you can't send it to us, at least tell us how it is, what it tastes like.
Well, and send us a whole case or a bag, whatever.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, Friday night, living my wild lifestyle that I do. After a hike on my way home, I decided, hey, I exercised just a little. I deserve a ton of food. And so I stopped at Cane's.
Yeah.
And I bought some chicken fingers.
Did you now?
And what I really bought was some chicken nubbins.
Are they? I told you.
I'm telling you, it's real.
I feel like I'm a whistleblower. Like one of those things.
Your corporate's going to visit you, Nikki.
I know. I don't want to keep bringing it up, but I think they made their chicken fingers smaller.
It's real. It is absolutely real. Those chicken fingers.
It's changed.
They are not what they used to be. They are maybe, I'm going to go with 65% of the previous chicken finger length.
And when I first started noticing this, it was before the coronavirus drive-through only thing.
It's not a corona thing.
I don't feel like it's a reflection of just having pickup orders or drive-through. This was before then.
Yeah. What the thing that I noticed is it's just like the top half of the chicken finger's gone.
Yeah, the fun part with all the little crispy little weird things around it. It's all gone.
Now it's just like a straight shot.
Yep. It's a corporate chicken.
It's something.
It is. I feel like it's when Chipotle started like really measuring out things.
Come on.
For their bowls and stuff and for their burritos. And when you started seeing the workers take things out because they put too much on.
Yep.
And I felt like, wow, that was a memo.
There was a time when you could go to Chipotle and they'd be like, oh, look at me, I've overstuffed here.
Let's see if we can fold it.
Let's just wrap another tortilla around it. This is fun.
Not anymore, though. Now they're like, well, we've overweighed it. Let's take the stuff off.
Dude, what is it, Hot Burrito? They're like a Chipotle ripoff chain. Are they the ones that do actually weigh it?
Well, I think even Chipotle does now. I think most places do now.
You know what? I am almost glad they weigh it because I feel like there for a while the workers were so afraid. They're like, no, that's too much. I'm trying to make my boss not yell at me when this is over. Oh, my gosh.
Well, I'm glad you noticed that, too, on Friday.
And now it's happening again, Nikki. They're cutting back. And the thing is, none of us are getting any thinner.
Well, because we're still eating other stuff.
The portions are getting smaller. Everybody's getting bigger. I don't know what's going on.
Remember, though, this is still under the stress eating time. So
I think so.
I think we're all able to cut each other some slack. You get what you get and just eat it. I should say this. You get what you want to get, all right? Just do what you want, and we're going to deal with all this later when health clubs open back up and we can work some of this off.
I really need to work out, but
You just can't, and that's fine. You just can't.
I just can't. I'm just like, I just don't want to.
Don't worry about it.
I'm a little worried about it.
No! They called
I bent over to pick up a pen the other day, and it made me out of breath.
It's the quarantine thing where you get like the The 25. You get 25 pounds.
Oh,
Can you imagine trying to work that
You know how
off?
hard it is to lose 5 pounds? I don't need 25.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Who is ready to learn a new word or phrase?
We are.
Okay. All right. Everybody repeat after me. You ready? Aerosolized
Aerosolized.
feces.
Not saying that word.
Aerosolized feces.
Why did I see this in the news the last day or so? What is that supposed to mean?
First off, just sit in it for a moment.
No.
I don't mean like sit in it, but I mean, let's sit in this moment
You mean
together.
process it?
Let's process it. That's something we're talking about now.
Is it a medical term? What are we doing here?
It is medical. Aerosolized feces is when,
It's just out there?
you are, and then when you flush, but you leave the lid up.
Everywhere. Now we've medically have seen things like that where you're supposed to put the lid down.
They say this could be a possible route for the coronavirus.
Oh, so like in public restrooms?
Yep.
Well, we're not going in. Well, yeah, if you're in the grocery store. You shouldn't go in anyways. Why are you guys going in those? You're
Sometimes,
supposed to hold it.
sometimes you do.
No, you have to hold it.
You do.
Yeah, now you really do.
Things are going bad. You're out there. You
don't want to get it from that. You don't want to. I mean, you
No.
don't want to get it, period. But
You don't. But studies are showing that this is a possibility. And you want to, oh my gosh, this is a whole other phrase I didn't know. I got another one. This is so good.
the second
This
one.
is such a good
Wait, you
one.
want a drum roll? What do you get for it?
Oh my gosh, third grade me is so happy. You ready?
Yes.
Toilet plume.
Oh, so this would be gross anytime.
Plume.
Not just with the virus, but just like knowing that if you don't shut the lid, there's still stuff spreading.
That's actually what it's there for. It's not there for you to sit on.
Yeah, but if you're in a public bathroom, those
They
don't
have those.
lids.
That's what Jim just texted that. And he's like, but they don't have those. You're right, they don't. So maybe Nikki's theory is correct.
You hold it until you get home.
Get out of there.
Unless you're one of the special people that you don't even go to the bathroom anyways.
At all.
You're perfectly fine.
You just sweat a little bit, and that's all.
Yeah, it goes away.
All right.
Ew, that is gross.
Come on.
Don't want to have to be a part of that. Like the task force or whoever put
Yeah.
out this article.
They had to write that out.
Well, someone had to make sure that they knew it was true.
Do you think, when you're applying for a job in the medical field, do you think they give you a series of words that you have to use? And if you giggle at all, you're like, you don't get the
you
job.
go back in class, you fail.
You don't get it. And they're like, and then one last thing, toilet flume. Yep, you're out. You almost made it.
You can't graduate until you can say it without laughing.
You had all of the qualifications. You had everything that we needed, but your inability to say aerosolized feces without cringing or giggling has cost you this job, toilet flume.
No, I don't think it costs you the job. I just don't think you can graduate until you
You have
can
to go
do
back.
it. And that's a part of that. How is your doctor-patient, what do they call it? How's your method when talking
your
with people?
bedside manner?
That's it. Like how is it when you're talking with your patients?
You got to go back to bedside manner class?
You got to learn.
Well, Mrs. Johnson, thanks for coming in. Beware the toilet flume. I'm sorry.
Wait, hang on. I'm going back in.
I'm going to
come back in.
I'm going to leave
coming
the
back
room.
in.
I'm going to leave the room.
You're just like,
I'm going to come back in. I'm going to tell you these instructions again.
Hang
and I'm going to
on.
do this until I get it right, okay?
all right, we have all day if we need to. Everybody else can wait.
Okay. All right. I can do this. I can do this.
Hang on.
All right. Okay.
Now, don't look me in the eyes.
All right. Okay. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to face the wall. I'm going to talk to you. Okay. So now just listen to the words. Close your eyes. Pretend I'm looking you in the eye. Okay. All right. Good. Mrs. Johnson, please close the lid on the toilet because there's a toilet flume. Whoosh. Okay. All right.
Gotta go back in.
Doing it again. All right. Okay. I'm going to try again. I'm going to send my one of the nurses in here.
Oh, that's perfect. They can do
What?
that.
They actually, they're the real people in the world. They can do this.
Thanks for sharing the story with us because now every time you're out and about, especially when you can go back out to being out and about, this is all you're going to think about when you see the toilet lid.
It's perfect. Put it down.
Is it? Is it perfect?
Are we here to learn or not?
Oh, you're right. I mean, it doesn't hurt to learn a few things each morning.
You'll learn. I didn't even know aerosolized was a word. It is now, and it's in my vocabulary.
Are people really still listening to the Riot? You don't have work to do or laundry to fold or literally anything else to do? The Riot, Radio U.
Wow, what a fire. There was an airport fire in Southwest Florida International Airport.
So in the Fort Myers airport, but it's not at the airport itself. It was it was in a grassy area.
Grassy knoll.
And then that went over and spread through the rental car area.
They had an overflow parking area for rental cars. It started with 100 cars that were on fire.
Well,
and by the time it was done, it spread from 100 cars to 3,500 rental cars.
Because
destroyed.
there's not that many people traveling. So all the rental cars are being parked there.
Right.
That's why they're doing an overflow area.
They're all in one
Where
place.
Normally an airport has, yes, some, but not this many on site. But they're normally out driving around, and they're not. They've been returned.
All right. I got to ask.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one thinking it. Insurance fraud.
You think? No, they said it was on the grass, though. It didn't actually start with one of the cars, so you think?
Exactly. You start a fire a little ways off.
I don't know. Maybe.
And then, because it's like, we're not making money off of these cars. They're just sitting here. I've got a way for us to make money off the cars and get all new ones.
They said that on 5 p.m. on Friday, when authorities were called, there was about 20 cars that were involved at that point.
Yeah.
By the time they got there, and then the rest of the cars just caught on fire, and they just couldn't stop it.
That's wild. So, okay, let me ask you this. And again, just asking for a friend, whatever. There's 3,500 cars on fire. But you get there, and there's about 500 cars on fire. Can you just take one of the ones that's like closest to the fire and just be like, look, it was gonna catch on fire
anyways,
so I'm just taking it?
I don't know if they would. You might not have a job then after that, depending on if you're coming in as one of the responders to help with it.
All right, I'm just saying.
I feel bad for the people around the airport, because if you don't know what's going on, it was such a big fire. It looked really scary.
Yeah.
But then they were telling people, no, it's just the rental cars.
I'm just telling you right now, if there's a big fire like at a bank and I'm called to fight that fire, and it's like, well, this money is obviously going to burn up.
Well,
I'll
you're
just
saving
be like,
it by putting it in your pockets.
I saved some of the money. So that's what people kept saying to me, save your money, save your money. And so I did, and now everybody's all mad at me about some kind of ethical thing. They wanted me to let the money burn, which is not my job.
Maybe you don't need to worry about it. Maybe, what do they say? It all goes into evidence. Even if it's a fire, would it go into like all the cars until they did their investigation?
Maybe.
And then you're just like, I'll take it from evidence.
Well, you just, hey, I had family members that used to be able to, inside this one organization, you could buy the drug dealer cars. You can
do that. They have auction sites for that stuff.
They would buy, and so this is just me taking the car before it caught on fire.
You're taking out the middle people, and you're just getting that direct to fire pricing.
Factory direct savings.
Yes, that's all you need. That's all you want.
That's all it is.
But for all the other cars, the over 3,000 of them were destroyed.
So this is a whole discussion now of like, okay, if you were going to try to sneak away with one of the cars from the fire, do you go with one of the really nice ones, or do you go with more like a mid-range one so you're less likely to attract attention?
I'm not going to the SUV section or the convertible rental cars.
Maybe the convertible. It's Florida.
But then they notice you.
Okay.
They're like, hey, there's Obi driving away. They would see you better.
I see you got a brand new convertible here. Yeah, funny thing, right? Trump bucks.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
If you're not training for a 5K right now, you're just wasting your life.
Well, I know we're supposed to be exercising while at home, and I see you, guy across from me who does the CrossFit outside every day.
And we hate you.
No, it's fine, but you could do it inside, but he likes to do it outside.
Yeah, well, he needs the attention.
No, he brings like his gym out and stuff.
I think the attention.
Based on what I'm seeing, it would be hard to really do that comfortably inside your house. It must just be better outside. And you're getting sunshine.
Nikki, if he's actually doing CrossFit.
He is actually doing CrossFit.
Well, guess what?
What?
He needs everybody to know it.
Well,
that's part of the CrossFit discipline.
That is, because you need to have everybody around you.
It's not enough to just do it. Everyone has to know you're doing it. That's the way CrossFit
He
works.
brings so much stuff out that I thought that would have been the workout. Just bringing the stuff out.
My workout was setting up for CrossFit.
And then
I'm
someone
done.
else comes in.
I'm done.
It's a lot of stuff.
I am done right now. Nikki and I would not be a good rep for your job.
No, we would
okay?
not.
So I was reading here about a guy named Josh Clark. Now, this is in the UK, but Josh is apparently somewhat famous in the UK for designing the official Couch to 5K program that the NHS, that's National Health Services, again, this is all in the UK.
Because we have a guy who's made the one here. It's like a very popular app. It's been a web program for quite some time, and the Couch to 5K thing has been a thing.
But, Nikki, we're not here.
Got your sound there? Have you had that?
Anybody else notice that I had to touch it twice and then it stopped? And so, but you know what? It's like my start to my running thing. You start,
Just
you
restart
stop,
it.
and then
No
you just
one
got to
will
restart
notice.
again.
It's fine.
Nobody's going to notice. It's no big deal. Yeah. So they have just, I guess, recently like acquired and like started this Couch to 5K thing. So in the UK, you could do this. You could even do it in the United States if you wanted. You could just use his program.
Wouldn't
And
it be
within
like-
8 weeks, he can take you from never having run before, basically, to running 3.1 miles. That's pretty impressive.
Is it like Couch to the kitchen? Because
Well,
I'm
you
not
gotta start.
outside running around.
But you could be.
I can. You are allowed to.
Yeah.
Depending in some areas. In the UK, I think you can only go out one time a day to exercise.
I don't know.
You can go out more often to eat. They don't limit that, but you can only go out once to exercise.
Go on out and eat.
But here you're allowed to just, physically remember the distance between people, but you're totally allowed to go outside and run.
Yeah, you just have to put some space between you and the people. Don't want to what?
Just don't want to go outside and run.
I don't want anything.
Good. Okay, great. That's what everybody's feeling right now, except for the guy doing CrossFit and the people doing this.
You know what I really want? I just want him to even if it was just for an hour, just reopen the soda fountain at the gas station. Okay?
Is that what you're
That's
missing
all
the
I want.
most?
That's what I miss.
Go
That's
do
what
it.
I miss. I don't miss people. I don't miss places.
Classes or a normal work thing?
I miss the soda fountain at the gas station.
Well, go through the drive-thru and get one.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
I want my hands involved.
You
I
want the
to mix
control?
it my way.
You're not going to get that
I'm
anytime
not
soon.
going to get that control. They've taken it away from me.
You know what's sad is that soda stuff's just sitting there. No one's using it. It's going bad.
You know what I thought about the other day? I was like, if I just went in
Breaking
there
in?
and just got some, and then what are they going to do about it? Well, we won't charge you for it, sir. Okay, I'll just leave then.
Now, this one gas station is still doing it, but you have to tell them what you want, and they'll get it ready
It's no
for
good.
you.
No.
No, okay.
Sorry, it's not the same.
What if you go to a different state? Maybe another state doesn't have the rules.
Probably not.
Be like, it's a long drive, but I found myself to a fountain machine.
Wait a minute. Remember the one Sheetz that like sits up on the mountain by the?
Across the state line?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
What are the rules going on over there?
You could.
Who wants to
though the
take? Anybody want to take a 3-hour drive?
road trip? You got to call ahead because I'm not guessing on that.
You know what? If nothing else, they got that little toffee factory like right across the street. We'll get
It's probably
some.
closed.
Maybe not.
Everything's closed.
Maybe they do like they
Hey,
bring
wait.
it out to you.
Close your eyes and think about this. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
You're at a fountain machine
Yep.
and you filled it up.
Yep.
And then you stand there and you're drinking half of it and then you refill it again.
And then you just fill it again.
Yes, there it is.
Sounds good to this
Maybe
guy.
you can go in the Wendy's. They have the freestyles inside the lobby. You go pick up your food. You don't
then you
eat in
could
there, and
use
then you
the
can
freestyle.
still use the freestyle. No, it's probably closed down, but maybe.
You know what? I'll scout it out. I'll go in. I'll look around. I'll grab a napkin to put over my mouth.
Bring a thermos thing in or like a refillable bottle.
And then just make a run for it. Don't touch me. I got the corona.
You're listening to a morning show hosted by two people who absolutely despise getting up in the morning.
Will you give me a break one time?
The Riot, Radio U.
This is kind of dumb. Isn't the whole idea of having a Chromebook that you have a cheap alternative to expensive laptops? Isn't that the whole point?
Pretty much. Like, if you just need the basic stuff of it.
Right. Samsung now has their high-end Chromebook called the Galaxy Chromebook. It is $1,000.
That seems a bit high for a Chromebook feature. but maybe if someone likes the name and the style of a Chromebook, but they want a little bit more in it.
So here's the word. I'm looking at the review from Engadget, and they say that, let's see, excellent keyboard, fast performance, beautiful and pixel-dense display. It has a 4K display.
Nice.
It's a Chromebook. Thin and light design with strong build quality. They say the battery life is terrible.
Oh, because it's just not. I mean, that's how a Chromebook becomes so affordable normally and less heavy is the battery stuff with it.
It's certainly part of it, right? And I don't know. Let's see. You can get it's a 10th generation Intel Core i5, 8 gig of RAM, 256 gig of storage. At this point, why not just buy
some people like the name of it,
a MacBook Air?
You know, the style of a
runs
Chromebook.
Chrome?
Yeah, but I mean, a Chromebook is just it. It's just what it is. It is what it is.
I know what you're saying.
And some people like to see, not in this case, but for some people with Chromebooks, they like to see how low can they go.
Yeah.
And just keep a very minimalistic approach to it, where others like to see how big they can spend.
Yeah. This just feels to me like, hey, you have to have Chromebooks now, but how are you going to show your friends that you're better than they are?
This is the rich school Chromebook.
How do you make sure they know that even when it comes to Chromebooks that the schools are handing out for free, you're better than them?
Well,
it's an easy choice.
Okay, here's it. What if your work says, hey, we'll buy you something, we're going to get you a laptop, and then you say, I'll take a Chromebook, and then they think, well, Bob is choosing the cheaper alternative that is so nice, and they don't even check the price. They're like, go get yourself a Chromebook, go have at it, and then you go get the expensive one.
I don't know. The station did pay for this MacBook Air that I'm using. It is technically not mine, even though I lay claim to it. They didn't say just get what you want.
Well, no, like if you said a Chromebook, but if you said a Chromebook, a lot of people think, oh, it's only going to be a couple $100.
Right. But what you actually mean is, this is what I think is funny. I researched Chromebooks for somebody, and I was like, now this one's a little more expensive. Mm-hmm. It's $300.
Which is very expensive for a Chromebook.
For a Chromebook. And Samsung's like, here, hold my microchip. $1,000.
Here we go.
Wow.
Now you have an expensive alternative to the cheaper alternatives for Chromebooks.
Well, that government money is coming. Who doesn't want it?
So when does that come out? Or
I think it's actually
out
there
now.
If it's not, it's very soon.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Listen, some of us have little things to get us by.
We're not supposed to call each other out on those little things.
Now is not the time for that.
If because of being at home so much, they've become bigger things, we're going to deal with it all later, all right?
I want a fountain pop from a gas station machine.
And we have to be understanding that that's just Obi's thing that he wants.
I want one. I'll tell you what, I walk a couple miles to get it, too.
But what'd you do what this guy did?
I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about it. We've got a guy in France.
He's in Spain, isn't he?
I'm trying to walk from... Yeah, you're right. I read that backwards. He's in Spain, all right? And he needed for himself some cigarettes, and he was out. So he hopped in his car, and he's like, that's it, I'm going to France.
So he wanted to try to cross over to get around some of the coronavirus lockdown stuff. Mm-hmm. And he got to the the checkpoint. Yeah, the checkpoint there.
And they said, no, you can't come in.
So he had to go around.
He's like, that's fine. So he went down the hill a little bit, parked, and he began hiking over the Pyrenees Mountains.
So he wanted to take the non-traditional way to get there, but he fell into a creek and he had to be rescued.
Just to be clear, this guy, first off, was willing to drive his car to another country. That's one. But
if you live close to the line, maybe.
All right, okay.
And did we say what he was going to go get?
I think
I
did. He wants cigarettes.
He was trying to get cigarettes. So
Nikki, French cigarettes are the best. They're unfiltered.
He was discovered exhausted, cold, and he was very much lost. So he had to be
very much in need of a cigarette.
So he needed to be rescued by helicopter out of the creek, and he was fined for breaching the coronavirus restrictions that Spain has right now.
And probably for the rescue. I will tell you, if you put yourself in danger, a lot of times they charge you for the rescue.
Yeah.
That's a thing. I remember, where was I at? Garden of the Gods, and we had climbed way too high already. There's a big sign that's like, hey, if you get stuck, it's a it was like $2,000 for them to come and get you.
And you have to pay that.
Okay, I'll just try to get down.
So he was caught, and this was Saturday, trying to drive the 20 miles from his house to another area where cigarettes are considerably cheaper, which is what he was trying to do. Got intercepted at the checkpoint, had to go back, but started hiking over the mountains as another way to get to where he was trying to go, and eventually got, rescued from there.
Yeah. So, but then when they rescued him, did they take him to France? Because if they did, it was just an expensive trip.
No, you should have just been casually, like, oh, do you have a cigarette or something? Just to try to ask.
All right.
It doesn't cover, was he out or was he trying
no
to?
Idea.
Like, is this
no
where
idea.
he normally buys his cigarettes? I'm not sure.
Maybe there's a gas station over there he really likes. Or, assuming they sell cigarettes at gas stations in France. I don't know.
Well, again, he's only about 20 miles away, so he's not too far away from it, and they're cheaper there.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like now, but remember when I DJed that wedding in Canada?
Yeah.
What was that? It's been probably like 8 years ago, I think. 7 years ago? I don't know. But when I was there, they, at least where I was in Canada, their gas stations are not like ours. No soda fountains, no whatever.
There's no beverage snack area.
No, and I found out why. Because they can't sell beer there. And so part of what, those snacks and stuff, they're all riding on the backs of beer.
How come they can't sell beer there?
Well, if you think about it, really, the idea of we'll sell you beer while you get gas, but don't drink and drive.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. So, but instead, they're, again, at least a long time ago when I was in Canada, they have these huge places that are just beer places. So you just go in and buy beer, and that looks like a gas station to me. And then these gas stations are these piddly, sad places.
Tiny little things over there.
I was like, can I even get a Snickers? Get out! You got your gas, now just leave.
We're coming in. Well, a lot of times people used to cross over because you could get stuff when you were 18.
Yeah.
But you're going over for candy. You're like, I'm not one of those. I'm another type of American. I'm here for the candy.
I'm another type of problem.
It's still an issue, but I'm here for that. Where is the building for the candy?
You guys have any candy at all? That's what I'm here for.
Here we have super centers for all of it.
What are you, some Spanish guy looking for cigarettes? What is this, France? French Canadian? Does it work?
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
I was looking at pictures of you in the hot tub.